Hello, welcome back to Down the Track. We had a very good game today. It'll be fun to analyze this game between RCB and Mumbai Indians, two of the top of the league teams in this season. And Musti and me here are going to just dive into the analysis right up. Mumbai, man, they look solid today, but RCB started off very well and just completely lost their way a little bit of their own doing, and on in terms of boom Bumrah just back with a bang, man. Like they really pulled it back quite amazingly, and then they Suryakumar Yadav just cleaned it up for them. I mean, what a player he is, and it's just so unfortunate to not see him play any form of cricket for Indian cricket. It's just surprising. It's very shocking to see that. But your analysis on the game.
Yeah, he's making a statement. You saw at the end as well his celebrations like keep calm, keep calm. I think it was a fantastic innings. He played superbly. His shots, he said himself he's a more leg side player, but now he worked on his offside. So you could see that punch cover drive of Stain and then even hitting Chahal over covers. I think his offside game has improved a lot. He's batting really well, wide range of shots. Very unlucky not to be in the Indian team. I think he's a fantastic middle order batsman, one of the best going around right now, and especially in India. And but I think the game changer was Bumrah for me. RCB should have got 200 with the start they got. I think that opening change worked. They got in Felipe instead of Finch, and he gave Particle support, and then Particle went off. He batted really well. He made 70 odd. He's had a sensational tournament, I think. His debut IPL season, and he's batted so wonderfully well. And then after that. They just couldn't get going. AB, Kohli, Dubey, no one just got going, and Bumrah bowled brilliantly. But like you said, some poor shots hitting it to the fielders. Pollard, excellent captaincy. I think he took a risk by getting himself on, but he got the huge wicket of AB. It was a gamble. He could have gone for runs, but he got his wicket instead, and that, I think, turned the game. That was a brilliant move by Pollard. And overall, RCB will be very disappointed because they set the platform, and if they score 200, it wouldn't have been an easy chase.
Yeah, absolutely. I think credit to Pollard's captaincy. I think he's been very good for this team. He's been a stalwart for so many years. He's stepping in when Rohit Sharma is injured, and he's always provided the goods even as a captain. And for someone like as great as an ABD, you really need to just think and do something a little bit different. It would have been very easy to just bring Bumrah on for him, and he could have just got himself in that over, but because he saw Pollard, he went for the shot, and then that's how he got him out. I think he tried his I like that intuition over there to kind of just make that decision and just make and it worked out very well for him. So hats off to him, and like you said, hats off to Bumrah, hats off to Suryakumar Yadav and Devdutt Padikkal. I think these were the four standouts in the game today, and massive win for Mumbai. That takes them top. They take and. Ideally kind of confirms qualification. I don't think that they lose it from here. It's not mathematically, I believe they can still be out, but I don't think that's gonna happen
because the net run rate is far superior now. I think they probably just done enough. You can put a imaginary queue next to them. I think it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much done. I think I don't think they lose both of their last games. They have I know they play Hyderabad, and then I can't remember which is the other game that they have, but
Delhi,
correct, yes. So Delhi and Hyderabad. So that's going to be an interesting game because Delhi is coming off of some losses, and Hyderabad has been so inconsistent that you never really know which Hyderabad side will show up. Yeah. But I think this pretty much done for them on in other ways. It's funny, RCB also play Hyderabad and Delhi next, so it's going to be interesting how that turns out for them. So
it's going to be very interesting. I think today's game though was an extremely important game to see who will finish in the top half of the table. I think top two, and I think Mumbai now are favorites to get that. I think I'm backing them to win at least one more game, so they should probably qualify in the top two. And this crazy thing about this side is even when they're losing, they what do you call it? Even when they're losing, they have one player or the other who's coming and he's coming in and contributing. We had Hardik Pandya in the last game. Now Suryakumar. We saw Quinton de Kock earlier. Ishan Kishan before. Pollard. So everyone, like Rohit Sharma is unlucky he's injured, but someone or the other is contributing for them. So that's the dangerous thing about this side. There's not one player they're banking on. One guy gets today. Quinton and Ishan got out early, but then you have Suryakumar. If he got out, then there's Pandya and Pollard. So there's someone or the other stepping up, and I think for a team that's the best thing. If you just have one player in form, it could be a risk, right? But over here you have anyone coming and performing, so this team looks very dangerous, man. And with the ball, like you said, apart from the odd bad game, they've been brilliant. They just need to hope that they don't have that big game in the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll have two chances hopefully because they might most likely finish in the top two. So two bad games would ideally mean that you're probably out of the tournament. But coming to Bangalore again, a series of changes. I don't know what they wanted to do over there, but like, not necessarily series, but they had like three or four guys who kind of came in. I think Stain was in, Dubé was in, Joshua Phillips was in, three or four changes. Maybe they were just trying a few different things just before the playoffs because they kind of are feeling that probably the playoffs is probably done and dusted. But they want to finish top two, and they could like just let's say they face a resurgent Hyderabad and a resurgent Delhi moving the last two games, and then they lose both for what they might not, but what if they do, and then it's just very tricky for them to they probably finish third or fourth, and then they have to just play the eliminator. So that's probably not the best idea. I mean, to bring in Stain was a good idea, but I don't know. I didn't understand some of the other things that they did.
I
I
told
don't
you,
know.
you were calling for this call, but I told you it's not gonna work,
Stain,
man. Like
yeah,
he's not at that peak anymore. Like to be honest with you, yes, fair enough. Like taking out Finch and bringing Felipe, it worked out, but that's still a move you can explain because he's not been informed, right?
yeah.
But Udana's not doing a bad job, and Moin Ali is also he'll contribute with runs and wickets. If you give him a chance. I don't think they should have played Stain today. Too many changes. I feel they have a really good team and they're doing well. They just need to back the strengths. That's what they're not doing.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, go for it. Go for
Yeah.
it. Sorry, that's the fire alarm in my apartment.
Yeah, I was very confused for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bangalore just needs to stick to the basic. They need to do what they're doing and just call it. The best 11. Bring the best 11 out. If Udana is your better
Exactly.
player, just bring your best 11 out.
Exactly. They just need to stick to the strengths. We saw them do that even earlier when they got AB at number 6, number 7. There's no point for that. They need to just stick to the strengths. If they lose, like look at Mumbai. They lost a game. They played an unchanged side today. So I feel RCB just need to do the same thing. Yes, you can swap one player or the other. Like Finch, deservedly he wasn't informed, right?
Yeah.
So that's okay, but 3 or 4 changes, it unsettles the team, I feel.
Yeah.
And closing into the playoffs, you should have a settled side. Back your players.
Yeah, and that's something that Virat has always confused us with. I mean, he's always done this every now and again. Some strange tactics, some strange decisions where you don't really not necessary kind of change decisions that don't go his way, and that's always been a criticism of him. But I think that's kind of how he is as a person. So I don't think we're going to stop seeing that from him. I think it's every now and again we'll see one of those kind of decisions that are hard to make sense of.
Yeah, and the thing is, they do it even when they win. That's the problem. Like, like getting AB hits a 70 and then he goes at number 6 the next game. So they do it when they win as well. So they just need to just keep their composure now. They've had a good tournament so far. Back their strengths. They have players informed. Just back them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly what they need to do.
And Kohli maybe had an off day. It's not going to happen every single game. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And then player of the game, I think just one standout over there.
There's 2, but I'll give it to Suryakumar because like after being not selected for the Indian squad, it must have been really tough on him. And the way he played was magnificent, beautiful shots like we mentioned, and against the Indian captain. So I think he'll take a lot of pride in that. But apart from that, Bumrah as well I think he changed the game because otherwise it would look like a 200 pitch.
That's actually a fair point. I think Bumrah really changed the game. But I think I just with the tenacity of the shots that Suryakumar just produced today, and
high quality
in the end, that just kind of showing everyone around and maybe an indirect dig at the selectors as well, just to say that I'm still around kind of. It's just very surprising that he didn't make the team, especially considering a big player in Rohit Sharma was missing. So you wanted someone with experience to probably come in, and he would have been a proper foil for that. Yes, he's not an opening batsman, but I don't know. It's just very, very shocking. He's been doing this for 2 or 3 years now.
And the thing is, the middle order has been not the strongest for India, so I think he should be given a chance for sure. He should be.
And he's been consistent for about a couple of years now. It's not like this is his breakout season or anything. He was good last season. He was good. If I'm not wrong, the 2018 season also, if he was pretty good. So
and he's performing in domestic, right? In Ranchi
as well.
And the Said Mustaq Ali. That's what counts as well. I think that's very important. And if I think selectors do use that as a platform. So if they're using that, like he deserves a spot for sure.
Exactly.
At least give him a run and see. When they're playing for India is a different ball game, but like at least give him a chance. I feel like he's absolute quality, and like you said, he's been doing it for 2-3 years in the IPL now.
Absolutely. I think that wraps up the game for today.
Yeah, sorry about the
Interesting.
noise, man.
No, it's for fine for me. But interesting game tomorrow between Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders. Kolkata, man, they really need that win to kind of uh, strengthen their position in the top in the top four. I mean, they've really have themselves to blame for the fact that they've not really gotten there. Some very poor performances, some pretty good performances, but overall they've been one of the most well, I don't want to say the most inconsistent team, but like they've really showed some really good signs and some really poor signs. So it's very hard to understand what's going on in the mentality of this side. But they need a win tomorrow, and I think Chennai has nothing to lose, and they're gonna go all guns blazing just for playing for some pride, because they, even if they win the next two, they only make 12, so they're really out of the competition. So. Uh, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just something I don't know how to call this game. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, KKR is the definition of hot and cold. You know,
Yeah.
one day you,
Yeah.
what do you, bipolar, man. One day they wake
Yeah.
up and they get destroyed. The next day they wake up and they smash the other team.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's so hard to judge this team. Like, you know, they got 80 or a lot, then they went and made 180 the next game and beat Delhi. Like, you know, so they're fluctuating like crazy. It's going to be an interesting game, must win for them. They have to step up. I think, like, you know, yes, if we look at it from different fans' point of view, you would want like KKR to lose to make it more interesting and everything. But for them, it's in their hands. They just need to come out and play to their strengths, and just hope the right one turns up. Like, you know,
Right one. Yeah.
the thing is, the similar team comes and wins the game, similar team comes and loses the game. So it just needs, I don't know what it is. It's just they just need their big guns to step up. And I think the start at the top. I think in the power play, the less wickets they lose, the better for them. And so they just need to maybe take a more cautious approach, because they have players who can come and match the strike rate. I mean, up the rate, scoring rate as the match continues. So I think be a bit cautious in the power play.
I agree 100%. I think there's no doubt about that. I think just like you said, just back your boys. They've performed well in some games. Just expect that one of those games to kind of just show up. One of those that KKR side to show up, and if they win, they really almost cement their position in that top four, because then it becomes a matter of some of the other teams just finding it very hard. It's gonna be very tricky after that. I think if KKR wins tomorrow, I think we can expect the top four to continue to go through. Except of course Punjab has the momentum going with them, and Sunrisers, the underdogs, at an outside chance.
And Rajasthan's also has an outside chance. So
Outside
they
chance
have
with
to be
them. Yeah.
careful, KKR.
Yeah.
They have to be, like, I mean, they just need to pull their socks up and try
Yeah.
to get the right, wake up on the right side of the bed. What else? You know?
Yeah, I think apart from Chennai, I think Rajasthan, Hyderabad, and Punjab are supporting Chennai tomorrow, which is
Yeah.
going to be a fun. So there's almost half the teams are supporting one side tomorrow. So it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of eyes on
But
this game.
yeah, I think Chennai nothing to lose. They already out of the competition. They just want to go out there, prove that they are a very good side, in like how they beat Bangalore last game. Just kind of go out on a high, beat Kolkata, and then their final game as well. Just win that, and then just go out with a bang. So that's exactly what they are probably out there to do. So not less pressure on them versus more on KKR, of course. So based off of that, I think I'm gonna tip Chennai to win tomorrow to keep things very interesting.
Yeah, like, it's so hard to predict this game. I feel like KKR should win it, like, on paper, but at the same time, you know, we don't know who's gonna show up. Like, so,
Right.
but yeah, I think probably I'll go with CSK, because maybe momentum is a thing. But with KKR, I don't think that exists. It just depends. Wake up in the morning and see if they're 3-4 down. It's not their day. If there's no loss for 50, then it's their day. Like, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a fair assessment of them. But your players to watch out for?
So I was very confused with this, because I was really impressed with Rituraj. I think,
Yeah.
CSK and Dhoni, I think they've understood the fact that, like, you know, they need to look at youngsters, and like, I appreciate that, like, you know, they sent him opening, and they understand they have to look forward now to the future. So,
Yeah.
but I would probably, for this game in particular, I'd go with Deepak Chahar, because I think that's where KKR can get exposed.
Yeah.
If he starts swinging the ball and dismisses the top three,
Yeah.
Rana, Shubman has still been better out of the three, but Rana and Tripathi have blown really hot and cold. So
Yeah.
if you can get those three out, it'll be game on for CSK. It'll tip in the favor. And then from KKR, I'm saying taking his name again, Morgan, not just for his batting. I think captaincy will play a crucial factor. Whatever
Yeah.
he's done in the World Cup, I think he needs to use that now, and like just bring a sense of calm. I think, and because they do have really good teams, and he just needs to like maybe like be a bit more motivational in his speeches, maybe because his tactics are decent, but yes, maybe like bring in Ferguson a bit earlier. Yeah, I think he needs to be tactically on point basically. So I'm looking forward to his captaincy and his batting.
Yeah, I think for me, Sam Curran. I'm really excited to see how he performs. He's been the only shining light in what's been a poor season for Chennai this season. So I just want to see him kind of have a couple of good games before they call it a day for their season, at least this time around. And for me, from KKR, I don't know. I want to see Pat Cummins kind of bring his A game. He's really
Yeah,
been sold
man.
for a lot of money, and he's just really had a very poor season. Just maybe one or two games where he had a couple of wickets here and there, but I think apart from that, he's been very poor. So I'd like to see how these two go tomorrow. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
definitely. And Pat Cummins, I think, is lacking those wickets.
Yeah,
So if he can pick up wickets at top, I think that'll help KKR a lot. And Ferguson, I want to see how he's going to be used. I think he needs to be used
I'm
a bit.
surprised they don't even bring him for one over in the first 5 or
Yeah,
6. Just
I understand the fact that you're trying to keep him for the death overs, but maybe try one over at least. Like maybe in the fifth, sixth over, if
yeah,
not anything. Yeah. So
I think that would totally make
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that wraps up the game today. Sorry, that wraps up the pod today. Looking forward to the game tomorrow because I'm of course supporting Chennai for the first time in my life. I hope they really, actually when I want to support them, they don't let me down tomorrow one day. It'll be fun to
Yeah.
see how it goes, and we'll catch you right after.
Yeah, a lot of teams will be backing
Yeah.
Chennai tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yep, it'll be fun to see.
I'll see you in yellow tomorrow.
Hopefully, I will be happy if they win tomorrow for the first time in my life.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care.